All right, we live. Check. Check. Good.
Right. Yes, sir. Right. Shalom, Mike Young.
Shalom.
Hey, want to give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, and Kakadash.
double honors to the apostles and the elders of New York and Connecticut. Many salutations to you, Akiam, as told in the truth. I should have thought. With the GMS Dallas Kemp coming to you again with a live class. Want to touch bases on the times that we're living in. You know, with the increase in gas prices, it's going to be a trickle down effect. Um, and not only will gas prices be affected, but everyday products will be more expensive. When you think about, oil reserves, things of that nature, we think, of course, we think about gas, but you have to understand that a lot of, shoot, all these plastic products that we use comes from the refinement of oil.
Mhm.
So things like plastic bottle water is going to increase, right? Certain plastic cups and things of that nature. These things are going to increase that you see in the restaurants that's provided to us. All right. So in all aspects of our life, we're going to be dealing with a substantial amount of inflation. When you look at that word inflation, it goes into how the purchasing power of a given currency is not as strong as it used to be, right? So it's going to be increasing, it's going to be an increase in everyday living, brothers. Also, food. The Strait of Hormuz produce a substantial amount of fertilizer, right? And right now we're in a time in which they're supposed to be planting for basically harvest.
Mhm.
Okay, now with them not having this fertilizer, the yield on the crops is going to decrease substantially. Right, you got to think about that. Already overcropping, right, or over farming with this land soil is useless. The only reason why they're able to produce as much crop that they do is because of the fertilizer that they utilize, they get out of the Strait of Hormuz,
Mhm.
right? So people, the everyday person, they think that they're in good standing, but in all actuality, man, they don't realize how dire this situation is. That word dire means extreme. We're about to see a substantial jump in prices. Go ahead, brother.
Just a quick one, you know what I'm saying?
Do your thing.
This is Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 16.
Mhm.
And this is pertaining to what took place to us in Jerusalem in the ancient world. But these are the judgments that the Lord gives unto lands that trespass grievously against the Lord. And what the elders going into was a famine that's getting ready to take place. So this is Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 16. Moreover, he said unto me, did you have it held or anything? Did you
No,
have
I did
another?
not. Go ahead, brother.
Okay.
Get down.
Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem,
Mm,
and they shall eat bread by weight
mm.
and with care.
Right. So there's gonna be rationing of food going out as things become as resources become more strained, you know. And what we saw in 2020 was basically a shock test, brothers. They put,
Mhm.
certain places like Walmart, they had certain blockades and things like that they put in these stores. That was a shock test getting ready for times like this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To where there's a curfew on, the time in which these stores were open. Okay, there's gonna be now there's gonna be something that's way more uh extreme to where certain people could go to the store for certain days because of lack of food. Right, the food that is available is going to be substantially high. You know, and we are dealing with a society that's living from paycheck to paycheck as it is. So homelessness will increase substantially. The fortunate thing is we have a network. that we're going to have to utilize in the times that we're coming in. The ministry is about to go to the next level, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay because we have certain laws and understanding that we could utilize in times like this.
That's right.
Before I get ahead of myself, let's get to the scriptures though. Let's go to 2 Ezra 16 and 21. About
For sure. I got that hill, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Mm-hmm. Is it cool? Finish that on this verse.
What you can, bro. I'm sorry, I didn't know you wasn't finished, brother. I apologize.
Nah, it's all good. It's a little more to it. It says, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment.
Mm.
You know,
Right now we're dealing with water shortage here in Dallas, Texas actually, with the erection of these data centers.
Mhm.
These data centers are using a substantial amount of energy, which includes water, and that it's not the water they utilize is not being recycled back into like basically the ecosystem is being evaporated
Right.
to use it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So you got cities like Corpus Christi that's actually literally running out of water.
Wow. They right there on the coast.
Right.
That's crazy.
They run out of water because these data centers need drinkable water.
Yeah, right.
They don't use salt water. They use they use drinkable water.
Yep. It'll mess everything up. The salt and never corrode what they need.
Yep. So you know they're trying to basically make a pipeline to go into another city to get their reserves. There's actually called there's a law called the rule of capture here in Texas, where whoever captures water that's underground, they're able to take it. So you got these massive corporations, like spearheaded by guys like Kyle Bass. It was the conservation oh my goodness, conservation reserve group. If I'm saying that correctly, excuse me, I'm going off. Right? They're saying, well, hey, we need to start drilling. They want to go to East Texas and start drilling, I'm saying, underground to get in the equinox, uh, to basically sell water to Dallas. But this water already flows into Dallas naturally through the Trinity River. So what these people are starting to do is they're starting to privatize natural resources.
Right.
To where everything that we utilize, they want to market off of. And they say, well, who's to say why should we let these resources be for free? Why should land be for free if you have it? Why should water be free? This is a huge misconception. You had the woman that World Economic Forum basically going into that.
Mm-hmm. I know. I was thinking about that.
So every aspect of your life, they want to capitalize off of, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but people aren't paying attention because they could go down the street and get a fucking McDonald's burger for $10. Get 27 chicken nuggets for $13.99. I don't know. We haven't been in a long time, right? This is going to affect you, and they don't understand that. Guess what? The life's about to alter. All right, go ahead, brother.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 21. And it says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
All right, so this is growing on the face of the earth. Sword, famine, great confusion. Great confusion is already here. You don't know what's real and fake anymore. Allude to AI and also the news outlets that's basically giving the people lies to help to make them be pacified or sway them to believe a certain ideology. You got the sword ruling. This whole Iran situation is just heating up. In order for America to really take over that region, they're gonna have to put boots on the ground, which, I, that's gonna lead to the destruction of a lot of soldiers. They're already talking about a draft.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And also, what people aren't factoring in, as resources become more difficult to get, you're gonna have more extreme groups that's gonna pop up.
Oh yes.
Dope, you been saying that for a minute.
Right.
Different. Sorry.
Go ahead, brother.
These different little militia groups
Yeah.
that's been training this like for years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
man, that's you about to start like the elder mentioned. You about to start seeing that pop up. I even say specifically here in Texas,
Yep.
you about to start really seeing that shit go down. Like especially when these prices go higher, they really gonna start getting down out here in the South for real, for real.
Yep. Because these guys, were on their last, stream, if you will, and their last hope was who? Trump,
That's
right? Trump letting them down, so now they're starting to see, these people who believe in Trump, these Edomites, they're starting to see, man, this guy's a part of the system too. It's up to us. So these guys are going to take up arms, man.
Yep.
There's certain areas that where Jake is not going to be able to go.
Yep.
You go over there, you brown,
White
you get your ass shot the fuck up.
Yep.
You all right?
Terrible.
You know what I'm saying? Terry got a lot of Jake in there.
Yeah. White settlement too.
Yeah, sorry, Southern too.
Yeah, it's really the hood.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think Terrell used to be like a sundown town, or maybe is it Terrell? My bad. It might be the city south of that, but it should be.
Terrell, that's where Jaden Fox is from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that nigga used to be out there balling.
But it's gonna lead to like what going back to what you're saying, but that's gonna lead to like what the scriptures talk about, a sedition amongst men that should not regard their princes nor their kings, and that power of the action shall be in their hand, for lack of better words.
Right. And the reason why is because Esau Edom has basically took over the natural resources. Hey, can we get Sirach 39? I want to say it's 26. Let me double check.
For firewood and
Yep.
Yep. This is Sirach 39 and 26. Sirach 39, 26. You mind if I start at verse 25 for you?
Of course, brother.
Verse 25 it says, for the good are good things created from the beginning. So evil things for sinners. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil, and clothing.
Mm-hmm.
All these things are for good to the godly. So to the sinners they are turned into evil.
That's right. That's what Esau Edom has done. Esau Edom with his predatory capitalism has turned these things evil.
Right.
Right. We go to this man for the one of all things. There's nothing that we produce, even when it comes to food. We don't know where our food comes from, but by massive farming, right? This guy supplies us with, the food that we eat, and the food that we eat is filth. Okay, spray with herbicide and insecticide, right? Seedless. You know what I'm saying, was an abomination. Mixed seeds. Okay. The meat that we eat comes from different countries. Pasted together with glue.
I was just about to say that.
Right? We eating pink slime.
3D printed food.
Yeah, 3D printed meat.
Yep. A lot of shit is lab grown. So Esau Edom has taken a hold of these natural resources, man, and has totally perverted them, right? With his perversion and with his exclusion of people being able to own certain things, he's able to put them under slavery. But this is going to lead to, with him not being able to meet the quota or meet the needs of the people are going to be in straits, bro. Okay?
Can I get a quick one whenever you?
Of course, bro.
It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 5. I'll read verse 4 and 5, and I'll read it in the A and P. It says, we have to pay for drinking our water. Our wood comes to us at a price. Our pursuers are at our necks. We are worn out. There is no rest for us.
Right. That's right. So Esau, so Jay got here, this Christian guy saying, how are y'all not free? Well, what do you mean y'all free? Well, we don't own anything, bro.
Right.
We don't produce anything. go to this man for one of our things. The average individual is a wage slave. We work to pay shit off. Lucy paraphrasing. You work to pay your car note off. You work to pay your electricity off. You work to pay your rent off or your mortgage off. You work to pay off your student loans. You work to pay off credit cards. Right? So you work to feed yourself. All right. So you have to go to this man for the want of all things. And with that, he's able to weaponize your essential needs. Okay. And with him stripping the masses from basically we just talking about food alone, man. He's going to lead people down an insidious path, and that insidious path is the road to the MOTB.
See?
Or the acronym for those who are new is the mark of the beast, bro. Hey, can we get that in Luke 25?
Yeah, this is Luke chapter 21 and verse 25.
Yeah.
And it says, and this is Yahweh speaking, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Men's heart failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken.
That's right. So
let me get that word distress.
Yeah, look up that word distress.
God. All right. When you go here for that word distress in verse 25, scroll it down. All right, it's Strong's G 4928. Soon okay. All right, soon okay. All right, I'm gonna go to the root word. All right, it's suneko, and it's got a few good definitions. It says to press on every side.
All right, go to one where it says
cattle squeeze.
The cattle squeeze. There you go, brother.
All right, it says of a underneath section section B, line 3 says of a cattle squeeze, that pushing in on each side, forcing the beast into a position where it cannot move, so the farmer can administer medication.
All right, and that's what Esau is going to do to the masses. All right, he's basically crashing the system to where, guess what? People are going to be begging that for a solution, and the solution is going to be digital. It's going to be digital currency, and also something that's tangible that's going to be implanted in the people's right head or forehead. Right? So a lot of people they're distracted, they're not paying attention to what's going on. You know, this is going to lead to their detriment, man. Especially guys of the circumcision. They're not paying attention to what's going on. Okay? And can we get Proverbs 22 verse 7?
This is 22 verse 7.
Yes, sir.
Proverbs chapter 22 verse 7. It says the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender.
You said Proverbs 22 and 7, or did I say 11? Go to verse 3. I'm sorry.
All right, come on. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 3. That was actually good.
Yeah, it was.
It said verse 3. It said a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself.
That's right. So the prudent man foreseeth the evil, then he hideth himself. So we see these things that's going on. You know, what do? Will we utilize these scriptures as a way to gear ourselves ready for what's about to happen? And we have certain things setting our provisions to help us combat famine. Okay? I go to Sirach 8 and 10, and if someone grab Jeremiah 6 and 16.
I got the Sirach.
Okay.
This is the book Sirach chapter 8 and verse 10.
Yeah.
It says, kindle not the coals of a sinner.
What did I say?
Sirach 8 and 10.
I said, Sirach 8 and 10.
Okay.
Keep on going. See if that's
okay.
The one I'm looking for.
Sirach 8 and 10. Kindle not the coals of a sinner, lest thou be burnt with the flames of his fire. Rise not up in anger at the presence of an injurious person, lest he lie in wait to entrap thee in thy words.
Shit, good one, but think I might have.
Intending me. What I can do.
Nah, I might have. Sirach 10 and 18. Excuse me.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Sirach 10 and Sirach 10 and 18.
Mhm.
Pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of women. So, like,
I'm sorry. Ecclesiastes 10 and 18.
Oh, okay.
Ecclesiastes
I can read it.
10 and 18.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 18. It says, Ecclesiastes 10 and 18. By much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of hands the house droppeth through.
That's right. So not paying attention to what's going on, right? Basically, your house will fall through. If you ever have a house that you inherited and nobody's inhabiting that house, you're not taking care of it. Eventually, that house is going to cave through, right? It's going to be inhabitable. On top of the fact you still got to pay taxes on it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So the house is basically going to be useless. Okay. And this is going to happen to a lot of people. They're going to be useless because they haven't been building up their house. One, spiritually, and two, neglect, that spiritual neglect is going to lead to a physical neglect.
Absolutely.
People aren't going to have the resources to take care of themselves because they haven't been paying attention. Go ahead, brother.
This is Proverbs chapter 24. I'm starting at verse 30 and read down 34, but I'm reading in the A&P, just backing up the precept we just read. It says, I went by the field of the lazy man, and by the vineyard of the man lacking understanding and common sense. And behold, it was all overgrown with thorns,
Right.
and nettles were covering its surface, and its stone wall was broken down. When I saw, I considered it well. I looked and received instruction. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest and daydream, then your poverty will come as a robber, and your want like an armed man.
Yep. So you have these various camps. What are they emphasizing, man? They emphasizing, basically fantasy, something that's very idealistic. You got this guy that with Captain Tazariak, I forget the man's name, the Ephraimite brothers. He said, yeah, Katazak. He said, yeah, we're gonna just come together. We got to just come together, get land, and like, bro, how you gonna do that in the times we're living in, bro?
Right.
We're living in some serious time. Jake is over here daydreaming, right? Daydreaming about reality.
Yep.
And even if you did come together, bro, Esau would take your things away from you. Bro. And it's not like Jake hasn't tried to come together before.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
What you should be focusing on is the coming of Yahweh.
That's it.
Right? And surviving until he gets here.
Fast.
Yeah, they didn't bring up the name of the Lord not once. Yeah, they didn't bring nothing up faith related or anything like that. Immediately they resorted to the flesh, and it makes sense.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say it makes sense because they're fleshly individuals. Those that rely on the flesh are going to act that way, but those that rely on the Lord are going to move according to the Spirit. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, you're not going to automatically just get some land and start farming, bro.
Right.
Something like that. And if you're trying to feed thousands of people, that's something that needs to be established years ago, bro. All that the talking points of the Black conscious community is not going to be of any avail for you in that
Absolutely.
day.
Yeah.
So we got to come together. We got to see.
Right.
Man, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, brothers.
Whenever you get a chance, I got one for you too.
Go ahead, brother.
God, this is Ezekiel chapter 11 and 3. This is the spirit that a lot of these guys are in. All right. Ezekiel 11, and I'm going to start at verse 2. It says, Then said he unto me, Son of man, these are the men that devise mischief and give wicked counsel in the city. And that's an example right there, wicked counsel. Because there was no trusting in the Lord. Within that, it was no resorting back to what the Lord does. No precepts, even though it was a clip. They might have brought precepts out here and there, but we know, listening to that clip, they weren't in the spirit.
They had no answers.
Yeah, exactly. They ain't had an answer, Sway. Verse 3, which say, it is not near, All right, and they don't have to say that outwardly in order to express that.
Yeah, that's what they think.
That's what they think exactly. Would say it is not near. Let us build houses. This city is the cauldron, and we be the flesh.
Mm.
Therefore, prophesy against them. Prophesy, O son of man. Thus says, excuse me, and the spirit of the Lord fell upon me and said unto me, Speak, thus saith the Lord. Thus have ye said, O house of Israel, for I know the things that come into your mind, every one of them. So that shows you that it's a mentality that they have. They're not just openly saying it because the Lord is saying, I already know what you're thinking. You know, and you can tell by their fruits, you can tell by their conversation, the anostrophe, you know.
That's right. If I'm ready, go ahead. You got something?
God.
Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Amos. I'm gonna get it here in the NLT so like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, just laying back on the precept the preacher just brought out. This is the book of Amos, chapter 6 and verse 3 in the NLT. Says, you push away every thought of coming disaster, but your actions only bring the day of judgment closer. You know, and that's exactly what Jake is doing. You don't like what the preacher just said. You don't have to verbalize it and say, you know, oh, we don't want the Lord to come back right now. No, by your fruits. How shall I say? You shall know a tree by the fruit it produces. The things that you speak about, the mindset that you're pushing out into your flock. You know, the so-called counsel that you're giving into your flock is showing that you don't want the Lord to come back.
Right.
You know, Jake is comfortable, man. You got IUIC on his campaign, buying 40 acres, making all these movies. So Jake is the last thing that they want is for Yahweh Shah to come back, okay, soon, because they're comfortable.
Right.
You know, so the Lord's about to remove, as it says in Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter, last verse. The Lord said, I will basically destroy all your confidences. So whatever Jake puts his confidence in, the Lord is destroying that, man. As he's undoing the fabrics of this society, man.
Yeah. Hey, the scripture says the Lord disappointed the devices of the crafty, that way their hands cannot fulfill their enterprise. We use that a lot toward Edomite and this beast system, but that still goes in the hand of wicked niggas as well that got plans on what they want to do. You know?
Yep. Because they comfortable with their money that they get, man.
That's right.
You know? That's what it's all. That's what it all boils down to. They're comfortable with the money. They're comfortable with the status. You know, that's why when the guy asked them on the phone, he asked them about straight up about CBDCs and digital currency. They literally they just completely just neglected they just went around the question completely.
Man, I wasn't trying to hear it.
They weren't trying to hear that. You know, it was like, you know, when I hear CBDC, I don't really like it because it's fake money. Nigga, the whole your money in your pocket's fake.
Right.
What the fuck you talking about?
Stupid nigga.
Right. And it's being in your fake money and the value of your fake money is being affected greatly by the streets of how moving
Absolutely.
clothes.
Absolutely.
Like your life that you have and the tours you going on, shit like that. Bro, that shit is about to come to an end, bro.
Yep.
That's why it's important to be occupied in prophecy. Right? And when prophecy arises, we have a playbook that's already been given unto us.
Right.
To give us understanding of how we're supposed to move in that day. Hey, can we get Jeremiah 6 and 16?
At rest.
It's Jeremiah 6 and verse 16. And it reads, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way.
Right. So Jake, wants to emphasize a lot of things of that nature. Well, in the time of famine, the time of distress, when we had certain members of our society that was, impoverished, we had certain things that we implemented to take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And these certain ways that we had that was a part of our laws, that was in our culture, we're going to have to utilize it in the times that we're coming in, brothers. Go ahead, bro.
Going back from the top, Jeremiah 6 and 16. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shah, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and you shall find rest for your souls.
That's right.
But they
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
says, but they said, we will not walk therein.
That's right. So we're going to find rest for our souls by implementing what our forefathers did, especially in the time of famine. But our people, they're not gonna use the scriptures like that. All that fighting the law, a lot of people gonna they gonna skip out on that, and they gonna run to Esau.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's facts.
Just like ISUBK
Yep.
was talking about, you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all need to get out of my head, bro.
Mhm.
C19.
Yep. And then they
He's like, I ain't no cow, ain't no punk.
Stupid.
you guys survived. We survived the crack and we did it.
You know,
There you go.
then this man ran to Esau and rolled up his sleeves
So they could put their boot on Esau's neck.
so they could put their boot on Esau's neck.
You ran to Esau to put your boot on their neck.
Esau's neck. Yeah.
They had to roll up the wristbands. They had to roll up all the sleeves and armbands, all that kind of stuff, just to fuck her.
Just to get the bag.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys say you trust in the Lord, but your actions show otherwise. I'm gonna say that again. C19 situation in 2020, that was a shock test, bro.
Yes, sir.
You see how people will respond.
Right.
And you guys felt miserably.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That shows that the Lord is not dealing with you, bro. So what you gonna do? What do you think is gonna happen in a time of famine? At the times that we're coming in the near future, brothers. Go ahead, brother.
I got oh, what's fine.
Jeremiah 18:11-12. I'm reading the NLT. Said, therefore, Jeremiah, go and warn all Judah and Jerusalem, say to them, this is what the Lord says. I am planning disaster for you instead of good. So turn from your evil ways, each of you, and do what is right. But the people replied, don't waste your breath. We will continue to live as we want to, stubbornly following our own evil desires. And that's what we're seeing, you know. The own desires is basically still trying to fan your pockets, go on podcasts, trying to continue on in this life. They're forgetting the ways of the Lord. You know, they'll, like you said, they don't want to bring the Lord's name out because that'll be that'll tarnish their pockets.
Yep.
So they want to continue on in this world, but they still want to utilize their preaching to do so.
Yep.
And that's causing that's going to give derision for them and Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's going to cause that's put them further away from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But yet, like I said, they're not looking towards the coming of the Lord. You know, so they're going to continue doing that, saying we don't want you to, you know, try to tell us what to do. We're going to continue our evil ways. You know.
Bubba Kasha, if I could add too, during that time, you know, when Jeremiah was, you know, set up to, you know, to warn, you know, and rebuke Jake, and you know, you see the mindset of Jake the whole time. The Babylonians, they were laying siege to Jerusalem.
Yep.
All they had to do was just actively turn their head, turn either or direction, and see the Babylonians building up those siege ramparts.
Right.
So here we are in these times. There's a silent siege going on, but this Jake still has that same mindset.
Right.
They see the gas prices going up day by day. You know, more economic turmoils. You know, drafts.
Right.
So clearly we're in a silent siege. But yeah, Jake is still now. We want to do whatever the hell we want to do. You know, so it's gonna get to that point to where the Lord's gonna have the enemy come in like a flood.
That's it. That's it.
Yep. And the Lord gonna move his servants out the way where they're gonna be protected. Just like Jeremiah, he didn't experience Babylon whenever they came and siege Jerusalem. The Lord moved them out the way. God, but he was good, you know. And Lord willing, we are that number, man. The Lord gonna take care of his servants, man. The Lord gonna take care of his elect.
Yeah.
You know.
Just trying.
Mm-hmm.
You know. At least what he's going to take care of us is giving us understanding on how to move in the times that we're living in, bro. Okay.
If it's, you know,
Man, get as much as you want.
let's go, champ. This is Jeremiah. I said Jeremiah. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse 25 and just read down to 27. And it says, nourish thy children, O thou good nurse, establish their feet. And that's part of what you're going into, the provision the Lord is going to set for us if we keep his ways. All right, verse 26. As for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. And that word require, when you go into this verse here, means to be set aside for a particular purpose. Verse 27, be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, which is we're in the time as the brothers are going into, others shall weep and be sorrowful. Those that aren't paying attention to the spirit, all right? It says, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance.
That's right. We'll be married and have abundance because we're gonna actually apply what we've been reading. All right. Uh, now let's go to Leviticus 19:9-10. Okay. And another brother, if you can, get Second Maccabees, the 3rd chapter. We'll start at verse 8. The point is in the point is in verse 10. But if you can, get that in the GNT.
Go.
Bible good shot.
I got the Leviticus
Go ahead, brother.
chapter 19, verse 9 and 10.
Yes, sir.
This Leviticus chapter 19, verse 9. It says, and when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest. And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor and stranger. I am Yahweh your power.
That's right. So during time of farming, we wouldn't basically take all of the crops from the field, but we leave some behind for those of the poor. Now, how can we translate this in layman terms? Well, when you go into the store, brothers, and you buy a case of water, how about let's buy 2 cases of water if you can, or even a case of water and 1 gallon of water. 1 gallon of water is about 8 cups of plastic that comes in a plastic
16 ounces.
16 ounces that comes in a case of water. That's 8 cups. Okay. Think about how many gallons could go. If you had 6 gallons of water, how long that could last you? That's about 2 cases of water. A case of water right there. Right.
16, yep. 16 back.
Okay. Think about that. Let's not saying that's going to save us. Us putting back is going to save us anything like that. But we're coming in times to where, guess what? It's very possible that we're going to be leaning on each other. You know what I'm saying? In that day, brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for certain provisions.
That's right, Zaquan. Like the time of Acts.
Yes, sir.
When you look at it in Acts around the 5th chapter, they was told to lay all their goods and place it at the apostles' feet.
Yeah.
Those weren't spiritual goods. They were actually stuff that each and every one of them had that was beneficial for the body. Now, can the Lord multiply it? Absolutely. Can the Lord have you in a situation where you by yourself and you don't have that stuff? Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, it's trusting in Him. But it's still wise counsel to put this information out here while you have times and needs to get all this stuff, then do it. If you have the resource to be able to do it, especially if it's going to benefit the body. And then the Lord will do the rest. The Lord will do His part.
Mm-hmm.
The
scripture says that a wise man's heart discerns both time and judgment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just laying back on that point as well. I mean, look at the vision that Joseph had. You know what I'm saying? He had a vision to store up when the time of famine came.
Right.
So he pretty much stored up for the 7 years of plenteousness. He put some aside because he knew that a famine was coming.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
that when the famine came, Egypt was good. That's what really made Egypt rich, was because all nations had to flow to Egypt, because ultimately the vision that Joseph had
Right.
for him to store up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to make the last point that we're not wholly looking at the carnal goods as means of salvation. Obviously, that's not the case. But once again, this is just wise counsel. This is wise advice.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right. And it's something that we've always done in our society, within our culture, to take care of one another. Right. Take care of the poor. Okay. Let's get there in a second. As a second, Maccabees, the 3rd chapter. Now, if you read in this chapter right here, basically, you had a wicked Jake tell the Greeks that we had a substantial amount of money in the temple, because he was mad over the decision of him not being a high priest. So he went and told the Greeks that, look, they over here really bothered. We really got X amount, of goods, of money, you know what I'm saying, a abundant amount of money in the temple. You know what I'm saying? When the high priest was talking to Heliodorus, the person who came and basically, you know, checked on the money, the verse the point I want is in verse 10. It's gonna give you a specific reason, a specific reason why we have a certain amount of money stored in the temple. Go ahead, bro.
This is Second Maccabees 3, and I started verse 7. It says, when Apollonius met with the king, he told him about the money, and the king ordered Heliodorus, his chief minister, to get it for him. Heliodorus set out at once on his mission, but he claimed that he was only making a tour inspection of the cities of Greater Syria. After he had arrived in Jerusalem, he had been warmly received by a high priest. He explained the real reason for his visit and asked if what he had been told was true. The high priest then stated that Simon, the devil of a man, had not been telling the truth. There was indeed some money in the temple treasury, but part of it was set aside for widows and orphans, and part of it belonged to Hyrcanus, son of Tobias, a very important man.
Right. So yes, we had money in the temple, but that money was set up to the side to do what? To take care of widows and orphans, man. So we had indeed a welfare system. All right. Right.
That's right, bro.
We had a system to take care of those that would need it. Okay. Right. And also, like the brother beautiful brought out, during the time of Acts, we have examples of us, of the church, I should say, taking care of one another, especially during the time of famine. Now, during the time of Acts, in the earlier chapters, Claudius Caesar was reigning, and there were several famines that actually hit these areas in which the churches were in. So they had to do it. They had to come together and take care of one another, bro. All right, let's go to Acts 11, and I want to say verse 26. Yeah, there.
Spirit.
Acts chapter 11 and verse 26. And it reads, and when he had found, when we skip up, verse,
Go ahead.
okay, verse 25, it says, then departed Barnabas to Tarsus for to seek Saul. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves in the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. And in these days came prophets from Jerusalem unto Antioch. And there stood up one of them named Agabus, and signified by the Spirit that there should be great dearth throughout all the world, which came to pass in the days of Claudius Caesar.
All right, and that word dearth means famine. All right, keep on going now.
Verse 29. Then the disciples, every man according to his ability, determined to send relief unto the brethren which dwelt in Judea, which also they did, and sent it to the elders by the hands of Barnabas and Saul.
Right, so they had to basically put some money together to take care of the brothers. Well, it doesn't specify money. It could have been goods. Could have been wheat. It could have been, these various things that they send to the brothers to help the church out.
Man,
it's very plausible, brothers, that we're going to be able to do that in the near future.
You remember during 2020, whenever we was remember, like we was getting big bags of rice and stuff like that. It was distributed. We was actually distributing amongst each other. We was pouring in bags. So we were buying big bags of rice. I remember. Yeah. It was distributed. We was distributing amongst each other. I remember that. So that was just like you said. I mean, I was shocked this, but that was a preview of what's to come. We're going to have to do it again.
And that's right.
And Lord gonna have it to whereas miracles were gonna happen in that time too. Whereas bros started distributing things, and the Lord had it to where something just never runs out. it just keeps going.
Materialize.
You know, like what with Elijah, you know, and the woman and the widow and her son.
Mhm.
You know, that meal it just never ran out.
Right.
It's kept it. You know,
Yeah.
that's something in the law for you just to back up the orphan.
Got something? Go ahead, bro.
This is Deuteronomy 26:12, just to back up the point. This is in the law.
Mhm.
When thou hast made an end of tithing all the tithes of thine increase the third year,
Mm.
which is the year of tithing, and has given it unto the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, that they may eat within thy gates and be filled. See, that's on the third year of tithes. You know, specifically that amount would actually go specifically to the Levites, the widow, the orphans, the fatherless. They would get that portion on that third year of tithing. You see, so that was in the law. You know,
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one.
You got something, brother?
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is 1 Peter 4:7 in the NLT.
Mm-hmm.
Says the end of the world is coming soon.
Mm.
Therefore, be earnest and disciplined in your prayers. Most important of all, continue to show deep love for each other, for love covers a multitude of sins.
Mm.
Cheerfully share your home with those who need a meal or a place to stay.
Mhm.
Just going into the theme of this lesson. As we can clearly see that we're at the end of Esau's age. We're at the end of this world. Okay, well, there's a particular mindset that's supposed to accompany with the mind of a believer, and ultimately that mindset is a very selfless one. As it relates to the Akio. We gotta, and we're in those times to where the squeeze with Elder Yatazak say it all the time. We're in Babylon. Now Babylon is falling, but we in this bitch too.
Mhm.
I'm quoting the elder. Meaning what? We're gonna feel the effects of it, but that's part of the reason why the Lord has us here gathered together. Okay, is to aid one another. This is a part of the comfort that He's given unto us, man. You're not gonna find this out there in the world.
Nope.
Okay, because what we have is rooted and stemmed in the fear of Yahweh Bashem Shah. So this is unbreakable. But these niggas out here, hey, 2 Ezra 15. Friends are going to invade one another for the lack of bread.
mm-hmm.
So that goes to show you, man, this is truly a work of the Holy Spirit,
Mm-hmm.
to where you have men from all different walks of life, from different geographical locations, coming together, sharing their necessities in a time of trouble such as never was since there's a nation. So this is a miracle that we're about to witness, man.
Scriptures talk about not being weary and well doing. You know what I'm saying? And well doing is being a brother. Taking up pretty much putting your comforts and your life on the back burner for the betterment of your brother. That's what Yahweh embodied and taught.
Right.
Putting yourself last and your brother before you. And that really shows the true sign of a disciple. Is putting yourself in the back burner for the Akim. And that's gonna be exuded in that time. Lord willing, on each and every single last one of us in this room, we exude that same spirit to prefer our brothers better more than ourselves, man.
That's right. Can we get Acts 6:1 through actually Acts 6:1 through 1 through 5.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 6, starting at verse 1. It says, "And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews,
Right, the Hellenistic Jews.
because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration."
Mm-hmm. So in the daily ministrations, saying the women, basically the widows, they were neglected. Why? Because Jake was busy, too busy, taking care of, a camp, issues of camp. Go ahead, Al.
Yep, in my Bible, in the middle, it says, for ministration, it says food distribution, specifically.
See, that's edifying.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Al.
Verse 2, it says, "Then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them and said, It is not reason that we should leave the word of the Most High and serve tables. Wherefore, brethren, I said, look ye out among you 7 men of honest report, full of the Holy Spirit and wisdom, whom we may appoint over this business. But we will give ourselves continually to prayer and to the ministry of the word." And the saying pleased the whole multitude. And they chose Stephen, a man full of faith and the Holy Spirit, and Philip, and Prochorus, and Nicanor, and Timon, and Paramenes, and Nicholas, a proselyte of Antioch.
That's right. So they set up basically brothers to, make money to take care of the administration, the distribution of food, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you know, and that's what we're coming in times where we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to take care of one another. Now, will it be as intricate as that? I don't know. It's, I don't know, but I know definitely provisions is gonna have to be set in place. That's gonna be different for different camps, of course. You know, but a great start on that would be okay. When I get to the stove, how much does these sardines cost?
It's not something.
All right, and that might be vital for us.
Yep.
You got something, brother?
No, well, I was going to say because, well, when you look at how brothers can help one another, the Lord set up, his body to help with certain things, and it's definitely what's coming to the past that we're seeing, because we knowing that family is going to come, because thus said the Lord. And look at the time that it's a faith booster when you look at Joseph during the time in Egypt. Lord set him up not just to deliver Egypt, but to set up for what? For him to deliver his brother. Yeah. He delivered Israel from that. So he got him over there to Egypt to get with Pharaoh, to basically give Pharaoh, what is that, in Genesis 41, let him know that, a famine was coming. And he got what? He gave him the ring, and he became like governor over it, of Egypt, to do what? To store up for 7 years, because it was gonna be 7 years of famine. But that was ultimately to deliver his people from the famine that was coming.
Right. Yep, 7 years of plenteousness where they were more than abundance, and he was putting stuff aside to the side. And then it was 7 years of famine, but like you said, that's a beautiful, man. That's like one of my favorite accounts, man. Like all that happened ultimately to save to save the nation of Israel. Ultimately, at the end of the day, he was set up as a savior to a degree.
Right. You don't know who you're gonna be with at that time when really things get bad. But like I said, brother storing and trying to be brotherly to one another, storing and things. You may have some where a brother may have not in that time, and that you have enough to help benefit or help the brother out during those times.
Yep.
That's it.
That's going to take the fruits of the spirit to be displayed and executed on an all-time level, man. And that's what the Lord is training us to do right now. As as we just read that, as you brought out that account in Acts 6 chapter, how the apostles set up 7 honest men to be over the daily administration. That reminds me of the system that we have operating out here in the Dallas camp. We got the GMS grocery check. You know what I mean? That's spiritual. The Lord is already putting us in that particular mindset, because hey, who knows? Hey, particular brothers may be over, a flock of people in Jacob's trouble, to where they got, like do what Yahweh Shah did similarly in John 6, feed a multitude, feed multitudes. So it starts with the least things, and us being faithful with the least that the Lord has given us, and utilizing it and appreciating it in the spirit. Because like the title of the lesson says, the ministry is about to go to the next level. So we don't want to get left behind, so we just got to move with the spirit.
That's right. Hey, can we get First John 3, 17 through 18, and then James 2, 14 to 20. That's all I got for us.
James, what's it like?
James 2, verse 14 through 20.
Okay. I got First John. If anybody else didn't have it. All right. This is First John chapter 3, verse 17. It says, no, sorry, verse 16.
I don't mind at all.
Verse 16. It says, hereby perceive we the love of the Most High, because he laid down his life for us. And we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. But whoso hath this world's good, and seeth his brother hath need, and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of the Most High in him? My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth.
That's right. So we about to really have to put it down. You know what I'm saying? We tell her, Jake, to be brotherly. You gonna have to individually be brotherly, bro. Okay. these scriptures, they're bigger than just cutting somebody when you ain't feeling somebody. Now you gonna have to we are gonna individually have to emulate this word. It's just gonna be and pray not to be in that Ananias and Safari spirit to where you know willing to do some whole shit. Hey, because when things get desperate and despair is on increase, man, hey, your mind will tell you do some wicked shit, brother. That's when keeping your integrity is gonna be important in that day. You know? All right. Go ahead. You got something, brother?
I had to James.
Go ahead, bro.
Start at verse 14.
Start for 14, please.
God. James 2 and 14. What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he have faith and have not works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding you give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doth it profit? Even so faith, if it have not works, is dead, being alone.
Yeah, so yeah, we praying for brothers and stuff like that. And, hey, a huge part of being the brotherhood is trying to make yourself accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta, you gotta be in the game, bro.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You officer, bro. Hey, that's a mighty office. You gonna have to be engaged too. Okay, you have to get involved. This ministry is about to go to the next level, brothers. Let's go ahead and finish that.
So lucky. Going back here to James 2, in verse 17 again. And it says, even so faith, if it have not works, is dead, being alone. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
Paul said he gonna show you what he believes by how he act and how he gives. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 19, thou believest that there is one power, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that without works, so like if that faith without works is dead?
Right, faith without works is dead. You ain't involved. You ain't willing to give. The faith that you have, man, is null and void. And when it comes into the times where we're gonna have to exemplify our faith on a way more intimate level, brothers. All right.
Yep. Every decision we make.
Yeah. That's all I got. If anybody got something else,
I got a quick one.
go ahead, brother.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2. So like I just had it held.
Mhm.
Yeah, chapter 2, verse 5. Really quick, but to the point,
Go.
backing up this brother's precept he just had. But it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. And this is ultimately when you look at this scripture and applying it now, it's going into the wickedness that's tied with Esau here today. All right, this beast system that he's pushing and the wicked decrees and the agenda that he has in play. So we can clearly see that the soul in this man is not right. So in the midst of that, as things collapse, there's a mindset and a spirit that we must, you know what I'm saying, continue to keep, being the believers. And it says it right here, but the just shall live by his faith.
Right.
So in a time right now where Esau's being exposed, his back's against the wall, he's getting ready to come down to having that great wrath. As the brother read that precept in James, going into pretty much how you're going to show your faith by your actions. Well, that's going to have to be it. Here in this verse, it's saying the just is going to live by faith. And again, it's not just saying you believe, but it's going to be actions that follow that. And those actions are going to shine, especially the worse Esau gets and the more draconian his measures get,
Mhm. Hey, the brother Tyson has posted this in the chat for as and found it very interesting that we're going into faith without work is dead. You got the apostles that went to go visit that brother who's going through some ailments, and they put it online. Like, look, exhorting this brother. They stay, it's showing their faith.
That's it.
Okay, they're showing their faith, brothers.
Right.
We got the example, bro.
Come.
So just wanted to say that, man.
With
Yeah, we gonna end it off on this one.
2 Corinthians 5 and 7 to the point. It
Mhm.
says, "For we walk by faith and not by sight." It's right there. So you can see the side of things, and it could look bad, it could look grim. You know, and that was a heavy point that was made, and I was meditating.
Water.
It's all not being in that Ananias and Sapphira spirit, man. When resources dwindle, Satan Satan can creep up in you. You know, creep up and try to creep. I rather say try to creep in your mind for you to think about yourself first. You know, but walking by faith and not by the side of things, that's what Yahweh Bashim Shah is looking at amongst his believers. You know, even though the sight in the visual things could look grim, how are you going to act in your integrity? You know what I'm saying? It mentioned the same thing, you know, paraphrasing the second of the 9th chapter. You know, you will be saved by your faith and by your works. You know, the apostles were visiting the brother that had this man, like that's faith with works right there. You know what I'm saying? So we going to the next level, man. And in the midst of these things that we get ready to see, miracles is coming. Miracles are coming. Acts, we're in the time of the book of Acts, man. Acts the 2nd chapter. When everybody gathered, they got all their gatherings and put it to the disciples, put it to the apostles' feet, it said that what? Fear came upon the people, and many great signs and wonders was done by the apostles at that time. So miracles is coming too. You know, ultimately we have to believe.
Yep.
We have to believe. You know, so that's all I got.
That's it. Anybody else got something? Go ahead.
Say they walk by faith and not by sight. You know, listen to that. Think about Hebrews 11. You know, when you walking, that's an action. So if you're walking by faith, you're actually moving. So it's an action what you're doing. So when you look at like Hebrews 11, our forefathers going to Noah, you know, Enoch, all these great men in Hebrews 11. So it goes into faith, but what did they do? They had to do a certain role. They had to perform action. So they had to move. So that walk by faith is what we have to do. We have to. It's not just I got to believe and I have faith and believe. Okay, you got the faith. Now, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to perform action.
That showcase.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All those actions, when you read about that in Hebrews 11, were stuff that would make a common person uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Abraham having to sacrifice Isaac, uncomfortable. Noah prophesying the destruction of the whole world in that time, uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? It even used Rahab as an example because she had to turn her back on her own kinsfolk. You know what I'm saying? The people of her land that she grew up with, friends, uncomfortable. You know, so you're going to have to be uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying, in the world in order to show forth that faith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right, brothers. Anybody else? You cool? Okay. Beautifully said, brothers.
Good stuff. Good lessons.
Prayers edify. I want to give all praises to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash.
the bond to the apostle and the elders that well. Many salutations, y'all can just 20 true 71.
Shalom. You got it, brother. That's right. Hit the wrong button.
Good.